Alright, once you've got the the main shaft on, you've got air running to the machine, you can press the front pedal down here. And you just sort of hover it a little bit, and it'll bring the air ram up. So you sort of guide it with your finger, lift it up to where you want it, and then you poke the pin through the rod. Oop, too far. Okay, so once that's in, circlip, pop your circlip on, and that's job done. So now when you let your foot off, the mast comes back automatically. So there we go. So in a second I will start putting the assist arm on. Yep. Alright, so just the last two cosmetic bits, just this little plastic cover. There. Now you've got your screw with your little cap on it, make sure it's on it, otherwise it'll split the plastic. Okay, so once that's on, that's out of the way. We grab the outer cover, slides over there, once again, 2 screws. Righto, so that's the cosmetics done. Now, something I didn't show earlier was this little airline that comes in the assist arm box. We use that to block off this airline, so you can put the air ram connected to the main shaft. Okay, pausing. Alright, so you pull your assist arm out. This will be laying in the box like that, so the one thing to be careful is obviously it's got airlines running through it, so you've got to support it at all times. I normally sit it in here, just to sort of give it somewhere to sit. Now, we lift this up and place it onto the side of the machine where those 2 bolts are. Now, where we put the 2 bolts, you've got this plate here with one hole that's offset. You put that facing, so the front hole goes through it. The back hole is not necessary. It's basically a spacer to lift the assist arm up off the machine. So once that's in place, you grab your bolts and let's lift him up. Just watch that fall in. Okay, so drop that bolt in. Okay, so that's your 2 bolts in place. Then you've got your bracket. If Brad just holds that for a second. Grab the Okay. So 2 shorter Allen key bolts, spring washer, Okay, once they're in place, you can drop your 2 other bolts, which will allow okay, can let that go now. So then you put your washer and your nuts on the 2 main bolts. You'll see there's 4 holes. The 4 holes are actually not needed. On this particular model, you only need to put 2 on. The assist arm has been built to suit 2 different machines. Just one set. Okay, so once that's in place, we'll connect the air line up, which comes out of the machine, and you can plug it into the bottom of the assist arm here. Just give it a little support again when you're pushing it in. Once that's in place, then we're able to connect air back up to the machine, and that'll power up this. Will allow you to move that out of the way. Just sort of make sure that that's looped out. So it won't actually get in the way of anything. You then get your second arm, place it in there, get your shaft. Now you've got to always make sure that the shaft's open hole end faces down. So that way, once she's all together, this ram will actually go inside that. So I often sit that in the top, just push it straight down. Okay. Little tap tap. Alright, just a little tap tap. Okay. Now you've got your 3 bolts left over. Just start at the top. Righto, so the most obvious thing is make sure this arm here, when you put it on, it's at the top and obviously says up. So you just lift up, get your ram to come up into place, guide it in there. Once it's in there, just get an Allen key or whatever and just sort of line it up a little bit. You'll be able to poke that through. And okay, kill it. All right, once you've done your 3 bolts up in place, that'll then allow the assist arm to travel freely. So then you get your other bits and pieces, like the big black plastic disc. Thank you. Place that on there. Okay. Then we've got a long shaft with a little cone on the end of it. Take your cone off. Slide him through. Put your cone back on. Air ratchet again. Righto, that's done. So that'll allow that to sit in there. That'll sit there. Now you've got to put this next piece on. This is the piece that actually holds the main part of the machine on. Push that through. That's on, and then we can put the actual holder in place, screw that up. Now the next 2 bits are only used to push the rim down. If it's a really stiff tyre and you've broken the bead and you can't get the jaws to grab the rim, you can plug this into here and put that over into the centre of the rim, lower that down, and that'll actually push the rim down past the jaws and allow you to grab it. Once you've finished with it, you've got to take it out, otherwise you will break it. Pause. Okay, so once you've put your assist arm up, you just do 2 bolts up. And then get your second bracket, which is here. That usually just sits in place there, and you get to put your bolts in there and there, and just make sure that when she's in line that this column and this column are parallel, and also this way as well, as long as they're parallel this way as well.
That is the side off this machine, isn't it?
Yes.